Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine, just for a second, the worst happens. You're in an emergency. You can't speak to yourself.
Yeah.
How does anyone know who to call?
Right. How does the system, the hospital, the paramedics get the information they need about you?
Exactly. It's a scary thought.
Yeah.
And you shared this huge pile of sources with us covering, well, everything from international hospital standards like JCI
To national quality boards like NABH in India, even consultancy stuff, patient protocols. Oh, a real
a
mix.
really broad look at healthcare systems. We were expecting, complex flow charts, high-level strategy.
And there's plenty of that, definitely, looking at efficiency, safety, accreditation.
But digging through all that, one thing kept popping up. Something, well, incredibly simple, but powerful. And something anyone can do right now.
Yeah, it wasn't some big technological fix or policy overhaul. It was a really basic personal step.
A step that seems to bridge that exact gap we were just talking about, the emergency scenario gap.
That's what the sources suggested. It connects you to the system when you can't connect yourself.
So that's our mission for this deep dive. We're zeroing in on that one key takeaway from your sources. Setting up, in case of emergency contacts, ICE contacts.
Right.
We want to figure out why these, high-level system sources care so much about this personal detail, and then give you the straightforward steps they outline to get it done fast.
So let's start with the basics. What even is an ICE contact?
Good question.
It literally just stands for in case of emergency. It's simply a person or maybe a couple of people you designate.
Okay.
And their contact details are made super accessible, like on your phone or somewhere obvious, so emergency responders or hospital staff can find them if you're unable to communicate.
So they're the first point of contact, the link.
Exactly. They're the crucial link to your trusted network family, friends who can potentially make decisions or, importantly, provide vital information about you.
And the sources you looked at, they really hammered home why this is so critical, didn't they? It wasn't just a footnote.
Not at all. It tied directly into the big goals: efficiency, patient safety. First off, speed.
Speed makes sense in an emergency.
Every single second counts. Hospitals, paramedics, they can waste so much precious time just trying to figure out who an unconscious patient is, let alone finding family.
Right. Trying to track down next of kin.
Yeah, database searches, guesswork, it all takes time. Having ICE contacts readily available, it just slashes that delay dramatically.
So it helps the system run smoother, which means faster care for you, the patient.
Okay.
What else? Speed is one thing.
Information access. This was huge in the sources. Your ICE contact often knows your medical background.
The details.
Critical details, like do you have a severe penicillin allergy? Are you diabetic? Do you maybe have specific complications they should know about? Are you on blood thinners?
Things that could completely change how they treat you immediately.
Absolutely. That information is vital for quick, safe decisions. It prevents errors, prevents complications. The sources were clear. Getting that personal medical context quickly improves care.
Wow. Okay, so it's not just finding someone, it's finding someone who knows you and can give life-saving info you can't.
Does it also help get family involved?
Yes, precisely. Your ICE contact can make sure your family gets notified quickly, and if needed, they can be part of the decision-making process if you can't consent yourself.
Which connects back to patient-centered care, something those accreditation bodies focus on.
Exactly. It ensures there's someone advocating for you, supporting you during a really vulnerable time.
It's really interesting how these big picture system analyses keep coming back to this fundamental personal step.
It is. And one source even specifically mentioned that setting up ICE contacts isn't actually common practice everywhere. It used India as an example, saying it should be more common.
So it's globally relevant, even if not universally adopted yet.
Suggests that even with the best hospitals and tech, this simple personal action still makes a huge difference in emergency outcomes.
Okay, the why is definitely compelling. So who should you actually pick? Who makes a good ICE contact? The sources had advice on this too, right? They did. Clear criteria. First, reliability. Obvious, maybe, but crucial.
Meaning they actually answer their phone.
Yes. Someone likely to pick up, even if it's an unknown number from, say, a hospital, and ideally someone who knows your medical history.
Your allergies, conditions.
Exactly, someone who genuinely knows your health background. The sources also suggested picking someone who can, stay relatively calm under pressure.
Easier said than done in an emergency, I bet.
Of course, but helpful for clear communication. And they need to be someone you trust to potentially make decisions for you.
Okay, and language.
Good point. They should ideally speak the local language, or at least English, depending on where you might need help.
Makes sense for clear communication with medical staff. How many people should you list?
The recommendation was generally 2 or 3 reliable people.
2 or 3. Why more than one?
Well, redundancy. The sources stressed having at least a backup. Because, people aren't always reachable immediately. One person might be in a meeting, on a plane, asleep.
Right, good point. A backup is essential. Okay, so you've picked your 2 or 3 reliable, knowledgeable, calm-ish people.
Yeah.
Now, the practical bit. How do you actually set this up? The sources said it's quick.
Super quick.
Right.
Like potentially under 5 minutes quick.
Seriously, 5 minutes.
Yeah. For almost everyone with a smartphone these days, Android or iOS, there are built-in features. You just need to find the safety and emergency, or maybe just emergency section in your phone's settings.
And the key thing here, which the sources highlighted, is that this specific info can be accessed without unlocking your phone, right?
Exactly. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Emergency responders have a way to see just this crucial ICE info contacts, medical notes, without needing your passcode. It's designed for emergencies.
Okay, so walk us through it. Android first.
Sure. On most Android phones, you go into settings, then look for something like safety and emergency, or maybe users and accounts, then emergency information. It varies slightly. Inside there, you'll find emergency contacts or IC contacts. You just tap Add Contact, pick people from your address book, and boom, they're designated.
Simple enough. What about iPhones?
For iPhones, it's through the Health app. Open the Health app, tap your profile picture, then tap Medical ID.
Ah, the medical ID section. I've seen that.
Right, tap Edit in the top right corner, scroll down, and you'll see Add Emergency Contact. Choose from your contacts there.
Okay, Health app, medical ID, edit, add contact. Got it. Now, there was a specific tip about naming these contacts.
Yes, and this came up strongly in the sources. Use the prefix ICE before the name.
IC hyphen.
Yep. So not just mom, but Ice Mom, or Ice Brother, Ice Rahul Baya, whatever makes sense. But start it with IC.
Why is that so important?
It makes them instantly stand out to someone quickly scanning your emergency info screen. In a stressful situation, that visual cue ICD tells them exactly who to call first.
That makes a ton of sense. Cuts through the noise.
It really does. And don't stop at just adding the contact. The sources emphasized adding details. What kind of details?
In that same medical ID section on iPhone or the emergency information section on Android, add your vital medical notes. Your blood type, definitely. Any chronic illnesses, diabetes, asthma, heart conditions.
Allergies too.
Absolutely critical. Especially medication allergies, penicillin, sulfur drugs, whatever. List them clearly. And maybe even your primary doctor's contact info, if you have it handy.
So it's a mini medical profile right there alongside the contacts.
Exactly. That combination, who to call and key facts about you, is what makes this so powerful for first responders. They get context immediately.
Okay, that covers smartphones. What if someone isn't comfortable with phones or wants a backup? Any non-digital advice?
Yes. The sources mentioned a physical backup, too. A simple, low-tech solution. Carry a small card in your wallet or maybe your handbag.
Like a little emergency card.
Pretty much. Write clearly. Your full name, your 2 or 3 emergency contacts with their names and phone numbers. Also add your blood group. List any major allergies and any critical medications you take regularly.
Good old pen and paper. Reliable. Can be very reliable. And a suggestion was even to tape this card to the back of your phone case or tuck it right behind your driver's license or main ID card in your wallet so it's easily found.
Smart. Visible. Okay, so we know why, who, and how.
Yeah.
What about mistakes? Did the sources mention common pitfalls to avoid?
They did. A big one was using vague names without that IC prefix, just saving mom or dad if maybe you have step-parents saved similarly, or just using nicknames. Clarity is key.
So be specific.
Yes.
Ice Sarah, wife, or Ice David, son.
Exactly. Make it unmistakable. Another huge mistake highlighted was setting it all up and then never telling the people you listed.
Ah, forgetting the communication part.
Yes. The source is stressed. Talk to your chosen contacts.
Yeah.
Let them know, hey, I've listed you as my emergency contact. Explain what it means, what info they might need to share, who might call them, prep them.
So they're not caught completely off guard by a call from a hospital.
Right. It makes the whole process smoother if they know they might get that call. And finally, a really important point the sources brought up.
What's that?
Don't just do this for yourself. Think about others in your family.
Like kids or older parents.
Exactly. Set up ICE contacts on your children's phones if they have them, or put cards in their bags. And definitely check with elderly parents. Help them set it up on their phones or create wallet cards for them. They might be less likely to do it themselves, but could be more vulnerable.
That's a really caring and practical extension, making sure your whole immediate circle is covered. Is this a set it and forget it kind of task?
Definitely not. The sources were clear about maintenance. You need to review and update this info.
How often?
A good rule of thumb is maybe once a year, or, crucially, update it immediately if there are big changes.
Like what?
Like a major health diagnosis, a new serious allergy discovered, if one of your contacts changes their phone number, or even just when you get a new phone, make sure you transfer or re-enter the ICE info. Keep it current.
Keep it accurate. Makes sense. Okay, so let's recap quickly. We've covered what ICE contacts are, why sources looking at the big healthcare picture think they're vital.
Who to choose. The really simple steps to set them up on your phone or with a card.
Common mistakes like vague names or not telling people, and the need to keep it updated and do it for family too.
It boils down to a really powerful yet simple personal action that strengthens your safety net within that complex healthcare system we navigate.
So here's the takeaway, the challenge for you listening. Do it today. Seriously, take 5 minutes after this deep dive. Pick your contacts. Go into your phone's emergency settings or health app. Add them with the ICE prefix. Add those key medical notes.
And then take that next step. Check in with your parents, your kids. Help them get set up too. Extend that preparedness.
And maybe think about this as you finish up. In that potential crisis moment when you might feel completely powerless, how does taking this small, proactive step, a step highlighted by analyses of the big healthcare system, actually empower you?
How does it ensure that the system built to help can connect with the people who know you best, who can speak for you when you can't? It's about bridging that gap, personally.
It's a simple action, but it really forges a critical link between your personal world and the complex systems of care, ensuring you have a voice, even when you can't speak. How does building that personal safety net change how you think about being prepared?